Welcome back and thank you for joining me in this deep and fascinating journey into the world of rare and extraordinary coins, where the smallest piece of currency can suddenly transform into something worth far more than anyone could ever imagine. Today we are exploring the unbelievable story of the 1994 Lincoln penny, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent but a hypothetical worth of an astonishing $607,000 million because of its mysterious errors, minting mistakes, unusual anomalies, and possibilities that make it one of the most intriguing coins ever analyzed by collectors. This video will take you into every corner of this coin story, from the tiniest die crack to the biggest imagined error possibilities, revealing exactly why a coin that most people would overlook could hypothetically rise to an unimaginable value. So sit back and allow this detailed story to unfold as we explore the legendary 1994 Lincoln penny, a rare treasure born from the unexpected and shaped by the mysteries of the United States Mint. The 1994 Lincoln penny may seem ordinary to anyone who has held one in their hand or found it rattling around in a drawer, but collectors know there is something extraordinary hidden beneath the surface of certain examples from this year. Millions of these pennies were minted at the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, and most of them are identical. But every once in a while, a coin escapes the minting process with unusual traits, rare errors, and defects that push it into an entirely new category of rarity and value. The legendary specimen we are discussing today is believed to be a once-in-a-lifetime combination of multiple minting mistakes, anomalies, and production accidents. It is the type of coin that becomes a myth, a topic of obsession, and the subject of constant research in the numismatic world. The first area of fascination begins with the planchet itself. In 1994, Lincoln cents were made of a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. This composition had been in place since 1982, but even within these years, unusual variation sometimes appeared because of misfeeds, leftover experimental planchets, or errors caused by machinery that was not perfectly calibrated. Some of the rarest coins in history were struck on the wrong planchet, sometimes even on blanks intended for foreign coins. So imagine a 1994 penny accidentally struck on a leftover bronze planchet or on a planchet of an unusual thickness. The weight could differ ever so slightly from normal pennies, and this alone could set off alarms for collectors who understand how rare such anomalies are. But when a coin like this also contains other errors layered on top of the composition anomaly, its rarity takes on a new meaning. Mint mark errors are another aspect of the 1994 Lincoln penny that make it hypothetically so valuable. The Denver Mint uses a small d mint mark, and although mint marks today are machine-applied, the process can still result in unusual variations. Sometimes the mint mark may appear to be repunched, where the impression looks doubled or shifted. In extremely rare cases, it might be mistakenly placed at a slightly incorrect angle or position. A mint mark anomaly is considered one of the most visually exciting features of any coin because it is immediately noticeable to collectors. When a mint mark looks doubled or distorted, or when faint impressions beneath it hint at multiple strikes, this elevates the coin's desirability. If the 1994 Lincoln penny in question exhibits a repunched or misaligned mint mark combined with planchet anomalies, the result becomes an astronomical leap in rarity. Another extraordinary possibility lies in the presence of double die errors, one of the most famous and valuable types of minting mistakes. A double die happens when the die, which is used to impress the image onto the coin, itself has a duplicated or shifted impression. This results in coins that show ghost-like doubling on the lettering, numbers, or even Lincoln's profile. Some of the most famous rare coins in American history are double die cents, such as the 1955 double die and the 1969 S double die. Collectors constantly look for doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust because these are areas where doubling stands out clearly. A 1994 penny with a bold double die on the obverse would instantly draw global attention. Add even more doubling on the reverse, such as on United States of America or the Lincoln Memorial's intricate columns, and the value of the coin climbs even higher. Die cracks are another detail that fascinates collectors because they leave raised lines across the coin's surface. These lines can stretch across Lincoln's face, his jacket, or the fields around him. Some cracks appear small, like tiny veins, while others form dramatic shapes that create an almost artistic pattern. There are also die breaks known as cuds, where a piece of the die breaks away, leaving a large raised blob on the coin's rim or surface. Imagine a 1994 penny with a large cud on the reverse, perhaps near the memorial structure, creating an irregular and visually distinct feature. Cuds are rare and extremely collectible, especially on coins that already contain other major errors. Misaligned dies and off-center strikes add another layer of rarity. A slight rotation between the obverse and reverse dies can create a coin where the back does not perfectly align with the front. Collectors test this by flipping the coin vertically. If the reverse is not straight, it may exhibit a rotated die. Off-center strikes are even more dramatic, resulting in coins where part of the design is missing because the planchet was not correctly centered during striking. These errors range from subtle to extreme. A slight off-center strike combined with doubling, a mint mark anomaly, and a planchet issue would create a scenario where the coin becomes virtually unique. Another compelling possibility is a strike-through error, where a foreign object becomes lodged between the die and the planchet during the striking process. This object could be grease, a small piece of metal, cloth fibers, or even parts of the minting machinery. Strike-through errors leave unusual depressions or raised textures that make the coin instantly recognizable. If the 1994 penny we are imagining contains a dramatic strike-through on the obverse that distorts Lincoln's portrait, this would make the coin even more valuable. Collectors also look for anomalies in the fine details of the reverse design. The Lincoln Memorial is full of intricate elements, including tiny columns and a barely visible statue of Lincoln sitting inside the structure. Errors on the reverse, such as doubling on the columns, distortions in the lettering, or missing design elements caused by grease-filled dies, are highly prized. A missing column error or a distorted statue inside the memorial could turn the coin into a rare masterpiece. The condition of the coin also plays a crucial role in determining its hypothetical value. While many error coins are found in circulated condition, a pristine example that somehow avoided wear while containing numerous errors is extremely rare. Imagine a 1994 penny with all of these anomalies appearing in near mint or even uncirculated condition. The luster would still be strong, the surfaces clean, and the details crisp. This combination of outstanding condition and multiple errors amplifies the coin's rarity and its potential value. Even the edges of the coin can provide clues, as the rims may display uneven metal flow, partial rims, or beveling caused by striking inconsistencies. Some rare pennies exhibit unusual rim thickness or incomplete strikes that leave parts of the rim missing. These small imperfections contribute to the overall picture of a coin that defied the minting process. Collectors often imagine the story behind a coin. How did it survive? How did no one notice its unusual features for so many years? The 1994 Lincoln penny becomes even more captivating when considering that it could have passed through countless hands before someone finally recognized its anomalies. The idea that a coin worth nothing more than 1 cent could quietly exist in circulation while carrying hidden value creates a sense of mystery and wonder. There is also the possibility of hybrid dies or transitional elements. In extremely rare cases, minting equipment may contain leftover components from previous years or trial dies used for testing. These hybrid combinations can create coins that show mixed traits of multiple years or unique features never intended for public release. If a 1994 penny contained such hybrid die elements, collectors would treat it as a groundbreaking discovery. Under magnification, microscopic anomalies add another layer of intrigue. Tiny die chips, metal bubbles beneath the copper plating, and micro-doubling can reveal even more about the coin's unique production history. To collectors, these small but meaningful details are additional proof of the coin's incredible story. All of these factors combined: planchet errors, mint mark anomalies, double dies, die cracks, strike-throughs, off-center strikes, rotated dies, reverse distortions, rim inconsistencies, hybrid die characteristics, and pristine condition create a coin of unimaginable rarity. This is how the legendary 1994 Lincoln penny becomes the subject of stories, articles, forum discussions, and ongoing speculation in the numismatic community. Even though the hypothetical value of $607,000 million is beyond any real-world price, it serves as a symbol of how dramatic the world of numismatics can be when rarity and imagination collide. My dears, are today's deep and exciting exploration into a coin that many people pass by without a second thought, a coin that has been in pockets, drawers, jars, and wallets for years, yet has a hidden world of mystery, value, and unbelievable possibilities behind it. Today we are diving into the story, the secrets, and the extraordinary potential value of the 2008 Lincoln 1-cent Liberty coin, a coin that could under rare and extreme circumstances reach a mind-blowing value far beyond anything its face value could ever suggest. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a fascinating journey into minting mysteries, unexpected errors, and the understanding of how a simple penny can become the center of intense collector interest, speculation, and astronomical valuation. This is going to be much more than a simple explanation. This is a full story, a discovery, a deep dive into everything that could make a 2008 Lincoln penny worth not just 1 cent, not just hundreds, not even thousands, but in the most extraordinary hypothetical scenarios, as much as $600 million in the world of extreme coin rarity, imagination, and collector passion. Whether you're completely new to coin collecting or you've been collecting for years, the story of this coin will open up your mind to the unbelievable possibilities that exist in the world of numismatics. Now let's begin with the simple reality that most of us know: the 2008 Lincoln penny is a very common coin. Billions were minted. You find them everywhere. They look modern, copper-coated zinc pieces that feel light, familiar, and ordinary. Because of this, people rarely pay attention to the date, the mint mark, or the subtle features that could differentiate one coin from another. Yet within these billions of coins, there always exists the possibility of small mistakes, tiny minting errors, unexpected die issues, striking malfunctions, planchet problems, or strange anomalies. And in the world of coin collecting, these tiny imperfections are not flaws to be ignored, they are treasures waiting to be discovered. They represent opportunities for rarity, uniqueness, and value that can exceed anything anyone might expect from something as simple as a 1-cent coin. But the idea that a 2008 Lincoln penny could theoretically reach an astronomical value of hundreds of millions of dollars stems from the concept of what collectors call the perfect storm of rarity: an incredibly rare error, a single surviving example, a historically significant minting anomaly, or a combination of multiple extremely unlikely issues existing in one coin. Imagine a coin that was accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, combined with a double die error, combined with a major off-center strike, combined with a missing mint mark, combined with a rare die rotation, and combined with another unique feature that has never existed before. While this combination is practically impossible in real minting operations, collectors discuss such hypothetical combinations because the world of coin collecting is built on the excitement of possibilities. The rarity of coins like the 1943 bronze penny or the 1974 aluminum cent show how unexpected creations can shock the world. The 2008 penny comes from a time close to major changes in Lincoln cent design. Collectors were already watching coins closely, preparing for the 2009 Lincoln cent redesign series that celebrated Lincoln's 200th birthday. Because of the anticipation leading up to the changes in design, many collectors were more attentive than usual during the 2008 minting year. This heightened awareness is part of what gives the 2008 coin an interesting place in numismatic discussions. Even though billions were produced, the interest in that year's strikes leads people to carefully examine them for unusual problems, anomalies, or rare die variations. One of the main categories of valuable minting errors that people talk about with 2008 pennies is double dies. A double die occurs during the process in which the metal stamp used to strike the coin contains duplicated design elements. This duplication can be obvious or subtle, and depending on the location and visibility, it can add significant value to a coin. A double die on the obverse showing clear doubling on Lincoln's eye, lips, or date would immediately attract immense attention. A double die on the reverse affecting the lettering United States of America, E pluribus unum, or the Lincoln Memorial would make the coin far more desirable. Now imagine a double die so strong and so dramatic that it becomes instantly recognizable. A double die of that magnitude, on a coin from a high mintage year like 2008, could be unbelievably rare and therefore extremely valuable. In extreme hypothetical scenarios, collectors could push its value to unimaginable heights. Another aspect collectors love to imagine is a completely new, undocumented mint mark error. The 2008 cents were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but the circulation strikes came from Philadelphia and Denver. A coin that somehow received the wrong mint mark, such as a Philadelphia coin with a D/P error, or a Denver coin with an S-punch mark mistakenly pressed in during an experiment or a transitional process, would immediately become a national sensation among collectors. Mint mark errors are some of the most fascinating mistakes because they involve human action, hand punching, or incorrect application. If a hypothetical one-of-a-kind mint mark anomaly were to exist on a 2008 penny, it could be valued at a level so extreme that collectors could argue its worth in the range of hundreds of millions, depending on its uniqueness, historical story, and cultural impact. Striking errors are another wildly fascinating category that connects ordinary coins to extraordinary valuations. For example, an off-center strike is common at low levels, but imagine a 2008 penny struck so dramatically off-center that half the coin is missing yet all critical details remain perfectly crisp on the remaining portion. Add to this the possibility that the coin was double-struck, meaning the die struck it twice in different positions, producing overlapping images. A double strike combined with off-center positioning, combined with a rotated die error, combined with a clipped planchet all occurring on a single coin would create an unparalleled rarity. Collectors pay enormous amounts for combinations of errors, especially when the mistake is visually dramatic and instantly recognizable. Now imagine an even more extraordinary scenario, the wrong planchet error. This is one of the most valuable error categories in numismatics. A wrong planchet error occurs when the coin is struck on a blank metal disc intended for a completely different denomination. For instance, historically, wrong planchet errors have involved pennies being struck on dime planchets, nickel planchets, foreign coin planchets, or experimental test blanks. Now imagine the 2008 penny struck on a planchet of a different metal, perhaps a leftover experimental composition from earlier mint research. The United States Mint constantly studies alternative metals to reduce production cost, and sometimes these experimental materials are used in test strikes. If even one such planchet accidentally entered circulation and received a full Lincoln cent design for 2008, it would be one of the rarest coins in the world. Then there is the concept of transitional errors. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck using the wrong year's design or wrong metal. The most famous examples include the 1965 silver quarters or the 1943 bronze pennies. Although 2008 wasn't a transitional year in composition, it was a transitional year in design, just before the 2009 multi-design cent release. If an early 2009 die had mistakenly been used to strike a 2008 penny, it would be a once-in-history error of enormous significance. Even if this remains hypothetical, collectors love discussing these possibilities because they ignite the imagination and fuel the extraordinary valuation debates that lead to numbers like hundreds of millions of dollars. But why would collectors assign such gigantic theoretical values to a coin like this? The answer is rooted in rarity, uniqueness, historical significance, and collector demand. A coin valued at hundreds of millions would have to be unique, absolutely one of a kind. There cannot be a second example. It would have to represent a never-before-seen minting mistake that challenges everything previously understood about minting processes. It would need to be verified, authenticated, and backed by a story so compelling that it becomes the center of global attention. Numismatic history shows that when rarity, mystery, and cultural fascination converge, values can climb beyond all rational expectations. Just look at fine art, automobiles, gemstones, and collectibles that reach auction prices in the hundreds of millions. A coin, too, can reach such extraordinary heights if it has the perfect combination of mystery, rarity, and importance. Now let's step deeper into the world of error possibilities, focusing specifically on micro-issues that could exist on a 2008 penny. There are die cracks, which are small raised lines caused by fractures in the die. Most die cracks are minor and not valuable, but imagine a die crack so dramatic that it creates a pattern across Lincoln's portrait, resembling a lightning strike or a scar. If the crack formed in a shape that creates a recognizable image, collectors call these pareidolia errors. It becomes even more desirable. Some coins with unusual die cracks or die breaks have become famous simply because the error looks like something meaningful.